Spain's Prime Minister has ordered 5,000 more troops and 5,000 police officers and their civil guards to the Valencia region as residents criticise local authorities over their response to a catastrophic flooding. Pedro Sanchez said 211 people have been confirmed dead, with their toll expected to rise further. Heavy rains that began on Monday caused floods that destroyed bridges and covered towns with mud, cutting off their communities and leaving without water, food or electricity. Sanchez said the deployment was Spain's largest in peacetime in response to one of the worst floods in Europe history. The Prime Minister said he was aware that the response that was being given is not enough, and he acknowledged that severe problems and shortages exist. He said that there are still desperate people searching for their relatives, people who cannot access their homes, homes destroyed, buried by mud, and I know we have much to do better. Weather warnings remain in force in northeastern and southern Spain through Sunday, while another was issued for the Balearic Islands for Saturday. Around 1,700 soldiers are already working on the search and rescue operations in the Valencia region, although hope of finding more survivors is dwindling. Part of the focus is on pumping water out of underground tunnels and car parks, where it is feared people are trapped as water surged in. Paco Polit, a journalist in Valencia, told the BBC the new troops will bring in much needed heavy machinery, bulldozers, trucks, and to help improve the speed and organisation of the rescue efforts. Sanchez said some places still are suffering from lack of basic resources. He vowed that teams would work tirelessly until aid reached everybody and people's lives have returned to normality, and called for national unity. Authorities have restored electricity to more than 90% of the homes and brought almost half the telephone lines that have gone down, he also added. The government also authorised 100 interim civil servants to help distribute financial aid. Carlos Marzon, president of the Valencia government, said that all town centres in the region have basic food, health centres and medical centres running. He offered a heartfelt thanks to volunteers, but added looting was increasing in the insecurity of the region. I hope to those who are guilty will be brought to justice, he said. Nobody can use a catastrophe to steal or profit. Nobody. Local authorities are facing criticism over the speed of the response and for a lack of warning in advance of the flooding. Amparo Andes, also owned her shop in Valencia for 40 years, told the BBC that at one point the weather in the building reached her neck and she believed she was going to die. At least I'm alive, but I lost everything. My business, my home, she said. And the government isn't doing anything, only the young people around helping us. The Civil Protection Agency, overseen by the regional government, issued an emergency alert to the phones of the people at around the time of Valencia after 8 o'clock local time on Tuesday, by which time the flood water was swiftly rising in many areas, in some cases already wreaking havoc. Juan Gonzalez, who lives in the town of Alea, said that the area was prone to flash flooding. It's outrageous that our local government didn't do anything about it, knowing that this was coming, he said. In the devastated town of Payoto, where more than 60 deaths have also been reported, residents have expressed their frustration that aid is coming in too slowly. Unsure whether it was safe to return home, Amparo Estevev told BBC, "No one is helping us. I've never been in war, but this is what it seems like." The federal government in Madrid is also facing criticism for not mobilising the army sooner than it did, and for declining an offer from the French government to send 200 firefighters to help with search and rescue efforts. Sanchez has vowed to do whatever it takes to help those affected by the disaster. Volunteer cleanup efforts in Valencia, organised largely by young people on social media, saw columns of thousands of people march to the areas most affected by the flooding. Organisers at the Ciutat de les Arts Museum said that at least 15,000 volunteers arrived on Saturday morning alone to join recovery efforts there. Desperate to help, Pedro Francisco, 16, told the BBC he had been waiting in line with his parents for hours. "We have to do whatever we can," he said. "It's just terrible to see what has happened." Also queuing was Oscar Martinez and his wife and son. "I feel anger," he said. "This was an avoidable tragedy. All the regional government needed to do was give us the flood warnings in advance." On Friday, the local authorities said traffic would be limited in the Valencia metropolitan area between Saturday and Sunday. Local head of infrastructure Martina Muz said the move had been taken to ensure emergency services could use the roads freely and to guarantee the supply of water, energy, communications, and food distribution. In response to looting, Sanchez said that he would double the number of civil guard and national police on the streets after more than 80 people were arrested. Areas across the southern, including Haihuya and Cartaya, have also been hit by heavy rains, while hundreds of families in the city of Jerez have been evacuated from their homes. One of the reasons for flooding has been so severe is the lack of rainfall during the rest of the year, which has left the ground in many areas of the east and south unable to absorb rainwater effectively. The region of Sevilla near Valencia saw much rainfall in one 8-hour period on Tuesday, as it normally would see in an entire year, according to the state service. The warming climate is also likely to have contributed to the severity of floods. Thank you for listening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the end of the broadcast, ending now. Thank you.